Standards for Students. Preface. These are the rules for being a student, handed down to us by ancient sages. First, be filial to your own parents and respectful to all of your elders. Be trustworthy, cautious, and kind, and draw near to those who are good. Whatever time you have left should be devoted to learning. On being filial at home. When your mother or father is calling, do not be slow to respond. When your parents tell you to do something, do not be lazy or sulky. When your parents need to instruct you, you should listen with patient respect. Whenever your parents must scold you, accept it with faithful compliance. In the winter, make sure they are warm. In the summer, make sure they are cool. In the morning, cheerfully greet them. In the evening, tell them good night. If you plan to go out, tell your parents. Report to them when you get back. Settle down in one certain place. Do not switch from one job to another. No matter how small the affair, do not act just as you please, for if you act just as you please, then you have not performed as you should. Although a thing may be small, do not save it just for yourself, for if you hoard things for yourself, your parents' hearts will be grieved. Whatever your parents like best, you should provide for them soon. Whatever your parents dislike, you should do your best to remove. If you carelessly injure your body, your parents will worry and fret. If you heedlessly damage your virtue, you bring shame and disgrace to your parents. When your parents are loving and kind, of course it's not hard to be filial. The true test of being a person comes when parents are hateful and cruel. If you recognize faults in your parents, exhort them to change for the better. Speak to them kindly and gently, with a pleasant smile on your face. If they cannot accept your advice, wait for an opportune time. You may even use tears to exhort them, but don't resent it if you are punished. When your parents are ill, call the doctor. Be sure the prescription is right. Wait on them day after day, at their bedside by day and by night. For 3 years after their death, remember them always in sorrow. During this period of mourning, don't drink wine or eat meat. Take care of their funeral arrangements. Make offerings on their behalf. Reverently cherish their memory as if they were still in the world. On practicing true brotherhood. When the older children are friendly and the younger children respectful, then brothers and sisters won't fight, and it's clear they know how to be filial. Don't think of wealth as important, or else you will feel resentful. When talking to others, be patient, then you won't be troubled by anger. When people are eating or drinking, sitting down or taking a walk, let those who are older go first. The young ones should follow behind. If an elder is looking for someone, you should run the errand instead. If the person you seek can't be found, hurry back and report what you've learned. In speaking to those who are older, use the proper terms of respect. When you are facing teachers and elders, don't show off or try to look smart. If you meet an elder while walking, greet him or her with respect. If the elder does not address you, respectfully stand to one side. If an elder is walking and you're riding, stop and ask if he's traveling far. Respectfully wait till he's past you before you continue on in your car. When an elder person is standing, the young one should not take a seat, but wait till the elder is seated and sit down when you are told. Speak softly in front of your elders in a low voice that pleases the ear, but you are wrong if you're speaking so softly that no one can hear. Greet your elders promptly and take your leave slowly. Answer questions respectfully and don't let your eyes dart around. You should treat everyone's parents just the same as you treat your own. Treat all brothers and sisters just like your family at home. On being careful. In the morning, it's best to rise early. At night, you should go to bed late. Cherish the time that is left to you. Don't expect that old age will wait. In the morning, first wash your face, and next brush your teeth very well. After you go to the toilet, use water and soap on your hands. You should put on your hat with care and fasten your buttons and snaps. Then pull up your socks very neatly and tie your shoelaces as well. Your hat and other clothes should be put in their own special places. Do not leave them just lying around, or they're sure to get wrinkled and soiled. Your clothing should always be neat. If it's not new and stylish, don't worry. What you wear should make common sense. Don't spend too much money on clothes. Do not fuss and complain about tastes when you are given something to eat. Eat enough so that you are full, but do not eat more than you need. During the time when you are young, don't drink liquor or take harmful drugs. To get drunk is disgraceful and ugly. Taking drugs brings you nothing but shame. Your walk should be easy and graceful. When you stand, keep your back tall and straight. Your half bows should be deep and full, and your full bows made with respect. Watch your step as you enter a doorway. Stand up straight and don't lean against the wall. Do not sit sprawled all over the floor, or wriggle and squirm when you walk. When closing a door, best be careful. Do it slowly without too much noise. When crossing a room, don't bump into the tables and chairs. You should carry an empty container just as carefully as one that is full, and enter a room that is empty as you would if a crowd were inside. There is no need to be in a hurry. If you rush, you will make a mistake. Don't be afraid of what's hard, and don't be careless with what is easy. Never go to rowdy places, or places where people are fighting. When something is low and improper, it's not worth your talk or your questions. When you're going to enter a room, first knock to make sure it's permitted. When joining a gathering of people, let them all know you've arrived. If someone should ask who you are, you should answer by giving your name. If you respond, "It is me," you're not giving a proper reply. If you use someone else's belongings, be sure that you ask for permission. If you don't get the owner's permission, then stealing is what you have done. If you must borrow something from another, make sure you return it on time. If someone asks you for something, loan it to them as soon as you can. On being honest. Whatever it is that you say, You should speak so that you can be trusted. Tell the truth so others can believe you. To lie is against human nature. To talk just a little is better than to chatter non-stop all day long. Talk only about what you're sure of. Avoid cunning or flowery words. Don't use words to be mean and cruel, or speak about things that are coarse. Let your language be pure and correct. Stay away from all that's unworthy. If you haven't seen something quite clearly, don't speak of it as if you know. If you're not sure what exactly happened, don't spread rumors around. When you know something is wrong, do not simply follow along. If you just go along with the crowd, you're bound to make a mistake. When you speak, say the words clearly. Distinctly and smoothly they flow. If you talk too fast, no one will heed you. The same if you mumble too low. Some like to talk about good points. Others like to find faults big and small. If something is none of your business, simply pay no attention at all. When you see the good points of others, you should strive to imitate them. Though you don't match up to them now, persevere and one day you'll catch up. When you notice bad habits in others, reflect on your own shortcomings. If you have the same faults, correct them. If not, never let them arise. If your virtue, learning, and talents do not measure up to others, then spur yourself to work harder. Accept nothing less than your best. If your wardrobe is seldom in fashion, and your home is simple and plain, while your friends have the newest and finest, don't be upset and never complain. If you're angry when told of your faults, and happy when praise comes your way, harmful friends will draw near you, and wholesome friends will stay away. If compliments make you uneasy, and hearing your faults makes you glad, forgiving and straightforward friends will then gradually come to your side. When an error is not made on purpose, it is simply called a mistake, but to deliberately do something wrong is not a mistake, but an evil. If you can reform your offenses, your faults will all disappear, but trying to cover them over makes your offenses more severe. On being honest. Whatever it is that you say, you should speak so that you can be trusted. Tell the truth so others can believe you. To lie is against human nature. To talk just a little is better than to chatter non-stop all day long. Talk only about what you're sure of. Avoid cunning or flowery words. Don't use words to be mean and cruel, or speak about things that are coarse. Let your language be pure and correct. Stay away from all that's unworthy. If you haven't seen something quite clearly, don't speak of it as if you know. If you're not sure what exactly happened, don't spread rumors around. When you know something is wrong, do not simply follow along. If you just go along with the crowd, you're bound to make a mistake. When you speak, say the words clearly. Distinctly and smoothly they flow. If you talk too fast, no one will heed you. The same if you mumble too low. Some like to talk about good points. Others like to find faults big and small. If something is none of your business, simply pay no attention at all. When you see the good points of others, you should strive to imitate them. Though you don't match up to them now, persevere and one day you'll catch up. When you notice bad habits in others, reflect on your own shortcomings. If you have the same faults, correct them. If not, never let them arise. If your virtue, learning, and talents do not measure up to others, then spur yourself to work harder. Accept nothing less than your best. If your wardrobe is seldom in fashion, and your home is simple and plain, while your friends have the newest and finest, don't be upset and never complain. If you are angry when told of your faults, and happy when praise comes your way, harmful friends will draw near you, and wholesome friends will stay away. If compliments make you uneasy, and hearing your faults makes you glad, forgiving and straightforward friends will then gradually come to your side. When an error is not made on purpose, it is simply called a mistake, but to deliberately do something wrong is not a mistake, but an evil. If you can reform your offenses, your faults will all disappear, but trying to cover them over makes your offenses more severe. On cherishing all living beings. For all creatures throughout the world, one should cherish a kind regard. The sky covers all of us equally. The earth supports all humankind. People whose conduct is fine are sure to have good reputations. Good conduct is what we respect. Fine looks cannot bring people honor. People who have great ability thereby enjoy great prestige. Others will follow their lead, but great talkers don't earn much respect. The abilities you yourself have should not be used to attain selfish goals. The abilities others may have should not be belittled or scorned. It's not right to flatter the rich or be arrogant towards the poor. What's old need not be rejected. What's new is not necessarily good. If you see a person who's busy, leave him alone until he's free. If you see that a person is upset, don't annoy him with idle chatter. Although you may know someone's faults, there is no need to tell everyone. The personal business of others should not be the subject of talk. Praising the virtue of others is itself a virtuous deed. When people hear they've been praised, they will want to improve even more. There is never anything good in talking of others' shortcomings. If they hear, they will surely resent it. They will see you mean nothing but trouble. We should urge each other towards goodness and develop our virtue together. If our faults are not corrected, we will surely stray from the way. The amount you give and you get should always be clearly distinguished. Make sure that your giving surpasses the amount that you receive. Before you begin to blame others, first you should question yourself. Would I want to be scolded and blamed? If not, then don't do it to someone else. Kindness must be returned. Let enmity just fade away. Grudges are better forgotten. Make kindness increase day by day. Treat your employees with fairness. Be proper and just with each one. And not only proper and just, you should also be kind and forgiving. If you try to rule others by force, you will never win over their hearts. If you lead them with virtue and reason, then they won't feel oppressed and apart. on drawing near to good-hearted people. Many different kinds of people all live on the earth together. There are many who follow the crowd. There are few who are truly humane. Yet those who are truly humane are often feared by other people, for they don't hide behind words or try to please with their looks. To follow the truly humane will bring immeasurable good. Virtue will grow day by day. Mistakes will slowly fade away. Not to follow the truly humane will bring immeasurable harm. Unworthy people will draw near you, and everything will go awry. On studying whenever you can. Cultural refinements have value, but not at the expense of real work. If you're just superficially polished, then what can you expect to become? But if you do nothing but work and have no understanding of culture, you'll be bound by your own narrow views, and your notions of truth will be murky. When you are pursuing your studies, on the three places focus attention: your mind, your eyes, and your mouth. It's important to train all these three. When you've taken up study of something, don't let yourself become sidetracked. Be sure that you finished one project before starting off on another. Let your goals be lofty and broad. Let your efforts be focused and steady. Once you have skill and experience, you'll solve every problem with ease. When a question comes up in your reading, make note of it before you forget. Then ask someone else who will know and who can explain the meaning. Your room should be kept neat and tidy, with walls and floors uncluttered and clean. Your desk should be kept in good order, pencils, paper, and pens well arranged. If your desk and your papers are messy, it is likely your mind's mixed up too. If your writing is sloppy and careless, it's likely your mind is not focused. Each of the books that you use should have its proper place on the shelf. After you've finished your reading, put them back in the place they belong. Although you may be in a hurry, you should close your books the right way. If the pages or covers are damaged, be sure to take time to repair them. What hasn't been written by sages is not something you should be reading. Such books block your intelligence and undermine your resolve. Don't ever look down on yourself or fail to progress towards goodness. We all can gradually learn to become worthies and sages.